Hi friends, welcome and welcome back to Unwind Flow Yoga. I'm Amanda, and for today's class we'll be doing a yin practice focused on our sacral chakra or svadhisthana. This chakra is all about creativity and fluidity and expression, and so when we translate that into our yin practice, we're going to take that energetic idea of our energy flowing through the center of our body up and away, and we're going to take that into some poses that will cover 360 degrees of our hips. You won't need any props today except for a blanket if you want to grab that to cushion the knees a little bit or to give your hips a little bit of height for some seated poses. We'll start off in tabletop doing some gentle movement in cat and cow. When you're ready, join me there. All right, so we're going to come over onto hands and knees. You can grab onto that blanket underneath the knees for a little bit of extra cushion, but otherwise spread the fingers nice and wide on the floor, grip through the palms and the fingertips, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, and start to move through your cat and cow breath. On an inhale, drop the belly, bring the chest to the arms and look up. Exhale, around the spine, press the mat away. And we're going to be here for about a minute, so just repeating your cat and cow movement, and then thinking about a sense of fluidity here. So if you want to make this a little bit more like rolly through rather than static, like two poses, think like each little vertebrae change is a pose onto itself. Maybe you want to take it into a little bit more of a side to side. Maybe you want to break the mold a little further and introduce some body circles. So you do have about 30 more seconds here. Using these last couple breaths to really concentrate on what's going on in the hips here. So can you make the hips be the originator of your movement? All right, take another full breath there. And then from here, we're going to lower all the way down to the floor. So join me there when you're ready, lying down onto the belly. If you had the blanket under the knees, you can remove it. And just relax the arms for a moment. Give the hips a little bit of a wiggle. And we're going to start with the front of our hips here. So I'm going to start off with my left leg. Either side works. We're going to start to bend that left knee and then take the left arm, reach back. See if you can grab for the foot, the ankle, if possible, the big toe side of the foot. And then you can let your forehead rest down. Feel like you're dragging the left heel close in towards your left sitting bone. If you have more space, you can always shimmy the foot a little bit further up the arm, or even grab onto the toes and rotate the elbow up towards the ceiling. What you want to find here is a stretch through the front of your thigh, through your quadricep muscles. Without feeling like you're forcing anything, just allow it to even be like 30% sensation at first, and see if the sensation grows a little bit as you stay here. In our first still pose, we'll start to pay attention to our breath, so breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the nose. Noticing that our heel is still in line with the sitting bone. That'll help us keep the sensation more towards the quads. So the heel of your left foot is drawn towards the midline of the body rather than out to your left. Allowing this to feel gentle, almost effortless. Take another breath here. And then slowly release the foot down to the floor. Take a moment to pause, two straight legs. And then switching side. Bend the left, or bend the right knee this time. Take the right arm, reach back for it. If you can, the foot, the ankle, wherever is accessible for you, inside or outside. Noticing that first little tug of the muscles. Maybe only feeling about like a 30 to 50% of your stretch. Starting there and allowing it to build rather than like feeling like you're reaching for like 70% stretch at first. Knowing that we'll be here for a little bit of time. Find something that you can hold for that duration. Bring your awareness back to the breath. Think about this idea of a fluid breath. Expansive breath. Checking in that we're not gripping or forcing. Take another breath in. Exhale, slowly let it go. Release the right foot back down onto the mat. Once again, choose straight legs. Option to stay still, or you can bend both knees and give the legs a little bit of a windshield wiper side to side. Maybe feeling like the floor beneath you is giving a little bit of a massage to the quad muscles on the fronts of the legs. Perfect. Release the legs if you are moving them. Hands underneath the shoulders. Press yourself up. And then from here, we're going to come into a variation on gate pose to get into our inner thighs here. So we're going to do one side at a time. I'm going to keep my left knee on the floor, take the right knee out to the side. And if possible, you want the toes facing forward, or they can go out to the side, whatever feels most comfortable for you. And you can change it up when we get into the pose. Take the hands onto the floor out in front of you. And then start to shift the hips back over your left heel here. So over the bent knee. As far back as you would like to go, and then you'll feel that stretch through the inner thigh. Once again, you can pause when you start to feel that tug of the muscles. You don't have to go all the way. You have your hands here for support, and the hands will support you if you put a little bit of your weight into them, as you slowly bring the hips closer towards the heel. Keep that extended leg, your right foot pressing fully onto the floor. And then once you found somewhere you'd like to stay there. Bring the elbows down. If you have a block nearby, you can always rest the forehead on your block. Coming back to this image of smooth flowing water here. Muscles stretching effortlessly. Letting the time that we're here do the work rather than forcing ourselves into a pose. Take a moment to check in and see if you can stay for a little bit longer. And then on that next breath in, slowly make your way back up. And you can take a moment here to give yourself a little bit of a reset if you want to stand up first. And do a little forward and back motion before we switch sides. So bringing the straight leg in and then switching sides. So this time I'm balancing on my right bent leg. My left leg is straight. Foot is all the way on the floor. It can be straight forward or it can be on a little bit of an angle. Decide what works for you. When you're ready, hands to the floor. And then slowly start to sink the hips back. This is my tighter side, so I'm gonna go extra slow this time. Only finding like that first tug of the muscles that you can feel staying there, and then allowing it to loosen up over several breaths. Noticing here that as I sink back, hips towards the heel, that because it's more intense, the foot wants to lift off the floor to loosen it up. So you want to come out of it if that's happening to you. Reset the foot, see if you can drop back in with the foot fully on the floor. No rush here to achieve a certain pose or shape. Coming back to the breath. Noticing here if you can do a little bit less. Allowing the time that we have here to do the work. I really like this one too because you get a little bit of a stretch for the front of the ankle too. Take that next breath in, slowly start to make your way back up. Bring the knees together, take as much time as you need, and then just sink back on the heels for a moment. Notice if the legs feel different and in what areas. Notice if the areas that we haven't worked yet, you don't feel too much there. From here, we'll get more in towards our hamstrings. So we're going to come into Upavishta Konasana, wide leg or dragonfly pose. I'm going to sit up on my rolled up blanket to give my hips a little bit of height, and then I'm just going to take my legs wide. Doesn't have to be your widest version of a straddle, just wherever makes sense for you, because we want to feel the upper body stacked over the hips, feeling supported by our legs. And then we can let the legs go, give them a little bit of a shake. Maybe you take the fingertips behind you and open the chest a little bit. This one will also get into our inner thighs here, so you might feel a little bit of that carryover. And if we want to get into our hamstrings, we can start to crawl the fingertips forward, and then you probably will feel something right away as soon as you can bring the hinge at the hips to bring the body forward. With our legs open like this, we're hitting more of our medial hamstrings as opposed to the lateral ones. Legs together, we'll get more into the lateral. Noticing here that you've stopped at that first sensation of stretch. Selecting somewhere you can stay for a couple minutes. Knowing that there's no rush. If you do have that block nearby, you can bring the forearms down onto your block. If you feel a sense of holding on in the muscles, bring this image in your mind of something that's fluid, creative, feeling like you're in action. See if that changes anything. Take another breath in. Exhale, let it go. Stay here a little longer. And then inhale, slowly make your way back through center. And then we'll bring the legs in towards each other. Nice and slow. Take a moment just to lean back. Give the legs a shake. And then from here, we'll get a little bit more into the back and outer seam of the leg. And for that, we'll lie down on the back. So join me there when you're ready. Lying down on the back with bent knees. So feet on the floor, knees point up towards the ceiling. Let's draw the right knee in towards the chest. Give it a squeeze there. Feel the back of the leg. And then cross right ankle over left thigh for thread the needle. Reach the right knee away from you as you draw the legs in towards the chest. Interlace the fingers behind your left thigh. Reconnect to the breath. Feel the breath drawing in. Feel the breath drawing out. Feeling the breath like a wave, allowing you to drop into your pose. Noticing here that we're concentrating our awareness in the right leg. So perhaps the left knee has drifted more towards the center line. Drop back in line with the left leg. That'll get you a little bit more into your right leg. Feel the right ankle pressing on the left thigh drawing in towards the chest. Make it active even though we're still. And then keep it active, but do a little bit less. Take another breath in. Exhale, left foot finds the floor. Right knee's going to come in towards the chest, and then we'll extend the left leg out, coming into a twist. So if you need to shimmy a little bit further towards your right side, and then take your right leg across the body. Foot can find the floor, knee can find the floor. Reach the right arm out to the right, using your left hand to give yourself an adjustment, drawing the right leg a little further to the left. That might help give you a little bit more of a stretch on the outside of your right thigh. But knowing that it can be gentle. It can be that just first little tug of awareness. Once you found your twist, can you drop in? Noticing the sense here that the energy is drawing through this central column of the body and out. As we twist here, going in multiple directions, directing our energy over to the right and left at the same time. Left foot draws forward, crown of the head reaches up. Take another breath here. And then on an inhale, slowly draw yourself back through center. Extend your right leg and just give that a moment to land in the body. Making a Shavasana shape. and then we'll switch sides. So bend both knees, draw the left knee in towards the chest, just to kind of wake it up. And then cross left ankle over right thigh. Reach the left knee away from you as you draw the legs in, coming into figure 4 or thread the needle. Coming into a new side here, noticing the difference right to left. If you need a little bit more space on your left side, remember we just want to feel that initial tug of the muscles and then build from there, rather than going all the way in. Knowing that space will come over time, using the breath to get there. Take another breath in. Exhale, release. Check in with your pose here. Can you bring your awareness to your left hip? Notice where you feel sensation. Notice if you feel other areas of the body working harder than the left hip, can you soften? Another breath in. Exhale to let go. Right foot finds the floor, left knee hugs in, and then lengthen the right leg all the way out. Bring it into a twist. Use your right hand on the left leg to draw the leg across the body. Foot will find the floor. Maybe the knee finds the floor. Left arm can come out to your left. Using your right arm to make that adjustment so you feel this outer seam of your left leg. Dropping yourself into your pose, knowing that any effort here is optional. If it's comfortable for you, you can close the eyes, bringing yourself further into the body. Noticing if the sensation feels significantly different than a watery fluid sensation. Awareness pouring over the hips in 360 degrees all the way around. Take that next breath in, slowly draw the knee back through center, hug it in, and then release the legs long. Setting up for your final pose, Shavasana. We'll be here for a couple minutes, so give the legs a shake, wiggle the toes, release any tension that's lingering in the lower body. As we land here in Shavasana, bring the awareness back to the hips. Thinking about that 360 degree sensation. Checking in to the fronts, the inside, backside, and outer line of the hips. Doing this check-in in your own time, noticing what comes up along the way. Noticing sensation and lack of sensation. Areas that feel a little bit more open and spacious, and those that might not. Knowing that you can always return to this class, to these stretches. I'll leave you here as we take a few moments in stillness, coming back to our sacral chakra, which is represented by the color orange. Whatever comes up for you with the color orange, see if you can hold that in your mind's eye for a few still moments. We'll finish up our class here in Shavasana. So before reawakening, take a few moments to deepen the breath and extend gratitude for making it to your mat today. Knowing that you can return here whenever you need it. I'll see you again next time.